Apartment for rent, inquire within, where myths and legends come to life, worlds of magic, mystery, and menace collide. Welcome to the world of Troll. This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 88.
Superman.
Why did you skip it? You're messing with the vibe, man. Hello and welcome to episode 88 of the Cult Faction Podcast. 88, I feel like we should have Back to the Future soundtrack going.
Oh yeah, 88 miles per hour.
88, what a year.
88's great for a number of reasons. He isn't 8 lucky in China
Yeah.
as well.
I thought it was 7.
No, it's 8. Definitely
Cool.
8.
So
Definitely 8. 8. Definitely 8.
Definitely
I've never even seen Rain Man, but
5554121. Definitely Caroline.
Can we do that?
it's just an impression of a movie. I'm sure you can do that.
So anyway, hello, I am Paul Hawkins, and as ever, I am joined by my esteemed colleagues.
Brett Summers.
And
Damien Hicks.
that's right, so we made it to episode
I just taken a mouthful of the drink because you came to me. I wasn't prepared.
episode 88, and as professional as always.
That's us.
Yeah, so as always, we are going to run through a list of what we've been up to, what we've been watching over the last week or so, and then we are going to hit our spotlight on the wacky world of Troll.
Oh.
Okay, so
That's a noise he made a lot.
he does make a bit of a funny, pervy noise, doesn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah. Anyway, so Summers, anything worthwhile that you want to discuss that you've been up to? Is it just teaching and hanging out with your missus?
Back at the grind at school still, yeah, and hanging out with my lovely lady friend. Yes.
Cool. Damien, this might be a quick one tonight then.
It sounds like it, doesn't it?
That's what she said.
Not done anything exciting, I don't think. Architect came out on Friday.
Did.
Boom, boom. Gone off with some measurements and some ideas, and it's going to come back in a couple of weeks with a design.
See, I still love Phil and Kirstine if I could.
Are you getting a Japanese toilet?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. No one wants that. Cool. And as for myself, so yeah, trying to keep carbs down, do my 10,000 steps a day, and do my old weights, trying to get up to another 1,000 reps a day before I up it by 2 kilograms.
Yes, that's just all going over my head.
It's just boring.
Yeah.
Just trying to be healthy, aren't I? We'll see how that goes next time. This time next week, check in. Yeah, okay, so that's enough of the frivolity and amiable jinx that we've been up to. Summers?
Yeah.
So you just look like Ming the Merciless then. Okay,
Can't
so
help it, I'm bold.
Hit me with what you've been up to on the big screen or little screen, what you've been watching.
Okay, let's start with the small screen, and I would like to give a shout out to this was on a few weeks ago on I believe the BBC, and I just recorded it and then I chucked it on when I had a gap to catch up, and it's Am I Being Unreasonable?
Yeah, you are. I think you are.
The new.
It's not so new, is it? I was talking about
advertised-
this weeks ago. But no, clearly no one listens to me.
Wasn't listening to you?
No.
He was on Dr. Google, probably.
Yeah, probably. Probably trying to find out who played second
Yeah.
extra on something that we were talking about 5 minutes before.
But Damien Paul, he was the key grip in many, many films. Let me go through them. And also Murder, She Wrote. He popped up several times, behind the scenes. Sorry, Brett.
You picked Troll.
Am I being unreasonable?
You are. And you picked Troll.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's what made me watch it subconsciously.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Did you get to the end?
No, I've still got about 2, maybe 3 episodes to go. It's really good. It's just,
Yeah,
it's one of those things.
But
that,
it was. I think they've just. My point was going to be. I think they've just totally missed the whole of however they wanted to market this, because it's kind of been done of It's Daisy May Cooper. Know that one from this country? She's funny, and now she's going to be funny in this. And she is, but it's more than that.
It's a lot more than that.
I
It's
don't wanna
not
give
your
it away
average
if people-
sitcom.
Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't even call it a sitcom.
No, but that's what I mean. So
Yeah.
they've marketed it as a sitcom.
This is the one with the boy that steals the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in it for 10 minutes.
No, he's
And all-
not.
Well, put all the episodes together, he's not in it much.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
But the whole
Hence the fact he steals the show.
Yeah. That's how it works, isn't it? Otherwise,
it
if
has
he
got-
was if he was the star, you couldn't then say that he steals the show
Yeah,
because
but
he's the
hardly-
star.
He's hardly in the show, let alone to steal it.
He's in pretty much every scene.
It's
of
not, I was watching it. I was just surprised. So when because I'd not seen any of it, and then when they did, was it the BAFTAs, and they had him everywhere, and
don't know.
on the award shows or whatever, and he was quite prominent. And he got best newcomer and all that. And I thought, oh, I'll look for this. And I was like, well, he's in that scene. I mean, he's kind of don't get me wrong, he'll be running around in the background or doing something,
Oh, right.
or rolling around.
I
the
think you're
background,
being
so-
unreasonable.
But it's not, like I was expecting him to be more in it, but then that was because my initial impression of it was a mother-son sitcom. And
No,
he's
this
got
isn't,
but then that was how it was.
that one with not Hugh Grant. What's his name? Hugh
Edwards.
Dennis.
Dennis. Is it Hugh Dennis?
I don't know. I don't know what one you're talking about.
That's not 2.4
Yeah,
Children. What's it
Punting
called?
Dennis, Hugh Dennis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that one called?
Not going out.
No.
I like that one. Oh, come on.
They've
Let's
got 3 kids and they live in.
The Railway Children.
No, it doesn't matter. It will come to me.
My
later.
Family.
No.
I know the one you mean, but I can't think of.
Steptoe and Son.
By numbers. By numbers.
Only Fools and Horses.
Something numbers, yeah.
Something by numbers.
Count by
numbers.
numbers.
Numbers. Yes.
And nums.
No.
Cool.
But it's nothing like that at all. Daisy May Cooper and the other one who's her mate, it's the actress Celine Hisley. They wrote it together apparently.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I'm a big fan. All I would say is that there's certain elements of it, without giving it away because you need to watch it, that I would have played up more in the script that are kind of are in there, but they could have made more of them. And it becomes clear once you get to the last episode.
Well,
Okay, well,
maybe
yeah.
they'll listen to the podcast, Brett, and take
Well,
your advice
mean,
on board for the next season.
Daisy May Cooper does like Southampton, so maybe she listens.
We are a global podcast, but nice of you to
With
join.
a local touch.
Yeah.
I didn't touch anyone, promise.
Yeah, there was no local touching here, I'll have you know.
Cool.
But,
Okay.
But that was really cool, and it is worth watching, but it's not what you think it's going to be.
Is it on
That'll be the one-
iPlayer?
I believe it's on the BBC. I recorded it was on telly, but I imagine it'd be on iPlayer.
It is on iPlayer.
Or
yeah.
you can buy the whole thing for $9.99 on IMDb.
No, I don't
apparently,
wanna
which
buy
I
it.
guess is linked to Amazon.
Must be. Yeah, IMDb. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
I also, on Saturday night,
Din, din.
caught the last sort of 45 minutes of a gripping 2020 science fiction film that had actually passed me by at the time.
Which was?
Battle Star Wars.
Oh, that's one of the cheap, low-budget ones. That
It
pops
was
up on
it was like it's
like the Horror Channel or
someone filmed
5
it on their
USA
phone,
or
yeah.
something.
Well, as I was flicking through it, said Battle Star Wars. It's like I need to watch this.
I think I might have seen a clip of this of some sort. What channel was it on? Was it Legend or something?
Yeah, it
it's
is something
one of
like that,
those.
yeah.
It was at first I thought it was like a porn parody, but there was no porn. Although I think someone did sell a necklace, but that was yeah. But
But the whole point about these things is it's supposed to be almost so bad it's good. Did it?
no, but it's not. No, but it's not. This was almost
That only works if you're not trying to do that, though.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
No, this was everyone in there was acting their socks off
What really?
or overacting their socks off.
Right, okay.
But as far as they're concerned, there was an Oscar coming,
Yeah.
and
Well, they were just probably happy to be paid.
But when the whole cast is made up of like 9 people, you know that the budget's good.
Well, hold on. Alien 3.
There's a lot more people than that. They had extras.
Alien.
Yeah, that was part of the film.
Yeah, all right, but your whole premise that a
Yeah,
film can't
yeah.
be any good or a big budget if it's got less than 9 people.
Obviously, it fits the plot.
Am I
but-
being unreasonable, Brett?
But I see a theme here. Are you sponsored by them? But they were in isolation, and that was part of the isolation. This is Battle Star Wars. They're battling in the start. You see all the spaceships, but you never see anyone on them.
Okay.
It never cuts to like the bridge of another ship. Just to see someone
We
go,
don't even see any
"Ah,
Cylon-looking people.
No, it's only like the main 9 people, probably 6 people you follow, and a couple of other people that just play different people as it goes along with different helmets on or something.
Was it any good in a bad way?
I'm just looking now. It wasn't even good in a bad way, and it currently rates 1.9 on IMDb, which I guess is.
And you
probably
watched it all,
the
though?
director's mum. No,
No, you only watched the last 45 minutes.
Oh, so you missed all the build-up.
Yeah,
You don't know
it
what
could be
happened
a
in that.
fantastic epic.
You don't know what happened in that other probably 6 minutes of the film, because most of them are quite short as well, aren't they? Because they don't have the budget. And there's
It was.
nine
It was
people in them.
almost like I would say of anyone. It was almost
Sharknado 5?
no, because they were good. It was almost like a TV pilot. In some ways, like that's because it ends, and they're sort of like, well, that is the end, but you've not really,
Okay.
but the end. Don't if you ever see that, that's a recommendation not to watch, which I don't often do.
If only you did that more.
That may be the first thing I've told people not to watch.
I'm almost tempted to watch it now. Okay, so let's move on to Damien.
Okay.
We might come back to you, Brett, though. If we
Probably
have time.
will.
Better do.
He's got a shed load to get through.
That was the start of sprinkling.
I might time box how many
Sprinkling
now.
big
Oh,
Nicky Way.
now you're going to start a time box. Now
Yeah.
you're not. Yeah, okay. So I've managed to so far avoid any more of that ridiculous.
The one where they
10,000
fall
BC
through the
Yeah. I've even so
sinkhole.
bad I've forgotten what it's called.
Yeah.
La Brea.
Journey to the centre of
Yeah.
La Brea.
I've so far managed to avoid getting drawn into any more of those.
What
which
does
is
the
quite
other half
pleased.
think, though? Because she was getting into it.
So we started watching Yellow Jackets.
Oh,
And of
that's
course,
right.
the
I
whole
remember you
season
saying,
of
yeah.
Yellow Jackets is available. So we've now gone through the whole season of Yellow Jackets. Really good. Nice, satisfactory ending. Gears up for season 2. A lot of the threads that are in it get sort of cut. No, that's not the right word. Tied up.
Yeah.
Resolved.
Yeah. But then a new, something new kicks off in the last season, so it makes you want to watch more. So that's really good. I think the second season's coming out this month, actually. So I don't know if it's going to be dropping all at once or they'll do weekly or what, I don't know. Probably weekly, so that you can't just do a month's trial and watch it all in one go and then,
Probably.
then cancel. So that's good. It's well worth a watch. If you've got Paramount, I would recommend Yellow Jackets. So sticking with Paramount, I think. No, it's not. It's on Apple TV, actually. And it's the Chemistry of Death.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Sounds
Okay.
really,
Is that some really deep science thing, though?
it sounds like it, but it's not. It follows a forensic pathologist who gave up his work to settle down as a doctor in a rural village. And then when a woman is found dead, he gets dragged into the investigation. It's actually quite good.
Okay.
We've done 3 episodes.
Who's in it? Who will be it?
Now you're asking. Give me a chance to Google it, and I shall tell you. What
Can
I
you
just-
multitask and
Yeah,
carry on
I
talking
can.
about it?
I can, sort of. If I can, I can't type. and
Because I
talk
can't
at the
type
same-
and talk at the same time.
No. Me neither.
That's a no, isn't it?
What did I just say it was called?
Something of death.
Something of death, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Science of death, did I say?
That sounds good.
Theory of death. Chemistry of death.
Chemistry of death.
Chemistry of death. Chemist.
That reminds me, when I was young, you used to get those chemistry sets.
Yeah, they used to sell them.
Yeah.
Kids buy them and burn stuff
Yeah.
and things.
But then hate doing chemistry at school because you don't get to do any of that.
Yeah, all the boring stuff.
Yeah. Go on then.
Okay, so it's got Harry Treadaway in,
Oh, yeah.
who was Victor in the Frankenstein series. Don't know if you ever watched that.
No, not the series.
Well, it was Penny Dreadful, but it was. Did you ever watch Penny Dreadful?
I watched Penny Dreadful.
Yeah, I watched Penny Dreadful.
Yeah, because the monster was Rory Kinnear's son, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, he is Rory Kinnear. He was Roy Kinnear's son.
That's what I said. He's Rory Kinnear's
I thought you said Rory Kinnear.
You did say Rory.
I'm sure
Okay.
you said Rory.
I got muddled up then.
I'll go back in the edit and check.
Yeah.
Samuel Anderson, He's been in the History
Sam
Boys.
Anderson.
He was in Doctor Who. He's been
Oh.
in Trolleyed. He's been in
Yeah.
a number of things.
Oh, yeah.
So this is obviously a British drama. Anyway, so that's good. It's say 3 episodes in. So
That's
whether
on
it's
Apple
going to turn
TV.
out,
Cool.
yeah, it's based on I think a series of books. So I'm assuming that if this is well received, there'll be more with the same character in. It's good.
Cool. Okay. Anything else that you want to talk about now?
I don't believe so. I think that has been Beyond Paradise.
Oh yes.
I've actually recorded these
Have you?
because I don't need to watch Death in Paradise to watch Paradise.
No, you
Nights.
No. No relation whatsoever.
What did you think?
I think I'm just watching it because I like them.
Yeah, I said the same thing. Again, what I said last week, I'm up for the fact that we don't have to have a murder
Yep.
every week. But, like, to me, it was fuss over nothing because, like, no crime had actually been committed. It's like a family have disappeared because no one's seen them since last night. And then, like, the whole local police force are involved.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would
Yeah, but
never
it's two
happen
children.
in real
So
life.
don't forget
okay.
when 2 children go missing, that does.
Yeah, but there was nothing to say that they were in danger or anything. The family could have just gone somewhere and not told the busybodies of the village.
Well, the whole dinner table was set out, and they literally upped and left mid dinner.
Well, yeah, but
So the signs
know.
are there that something had happened.
I'll give you that. But I thought it was a little bit. I mean, you phone police now, like, have they been gone 48 hours?
Not when children's involved, they wouldn't.
Oh, they do sometimes.
Do
Hold
they?
on.
No,
Hold on.
they will, and then they'll just post it on
Hold,
Facebook.
hold on.
and
So
get everyone to share
family
it.
go off somewhere. I thought it was just the 2 kids, and it's like, yeah, Damien's right. But what?
No,
family
my
just
mum
go
and
off?
dad are gone as well.
Yeah, what? They might have gone away for the weekend.
Yeah.
Spur of the moment.
Yeah, but when you get murder suicides,
Oh yeah, I guess it. Yeah.
just saying.
Oh, you know, I agree with you, but I don't think they'd act that fast, especially if there's only 4 of them.
Well, they didn't. It's not like they were.
Anyway,
A whole
anyway,
metropolitan
Jesus.
force wouldn't have acted that quickly.
All right, so carry on.
But yeah, no, but it is that. I get what they're doing. They're trying to create things that aren't just murder in a week, and I get that.
Yeah.
But, you know, we need it a bit better, or at least kind of enough. I don't think we get enough to solve it.
No.
And I think that's the problem, where Death in Paradise gives you everything, but you just don't realise you've seen everything. And then at the end, you're like, oh, I was an idiot, of course,
Yeah.
yeah. Whereas this is a bit like 2 minutes before, it's like, oh, yeah, and she had an affair with him. And it was like, oh,
Yeah,
so
and he'll
that's,
just suddenly
that's
go,
what
"Ah,
happened.
I
then."
know what
Oh, yeah,
happened.
then you
Yeah.
get it like 10 seconds what they do. Whereas I think they need to plant that more. But then, you know, second episode in, I mean, I'm still going to watch it because they're still good.
Right. There's nothing wrong
It's
with
easy
that.
watching.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, I enjoy watching it, but I just don't. There's no satisfaction in it because you can't solve anything because they don't give you all the info.
Yeah, you can't sit there with your notepad and pen trying to write it all down and work
It's
it all
in
out.
my head. It's all in my head.
Okay.
That's why I got the new Galaxy S23 with its pen and
stylus.
keypad thing. Yeah.
Sponsored by Samsung. Okay, so coming on to me, I've got a couple of new things and
I'd
a couple,
rather not.
couple of old things. So staying on the whole BBC type vibe, on Netflix at the moment, there's a new series that's been dropped called Red Rose.
Red Rose.
Yeah. So this is BBC, but like you
It
were
was on
saying,
BBC Three, I think.
yeah, but because it's not on BBC One, they're able to venture out a little bit more into darker themes and all this kind of good stuff. So this is set in Bolton. That's not the dark theme. And it stars Amelia Rose has been on a number of different programs over the years as well as a young girl called Ren. So I guess she's just finishing 6th form.
And
Yeah.
her buddy Stimpy.
Ren with a W. Basically, her mum committed suicide a few years ago, and she's living with her dad and the other 2 kids. And they're basically on the breadline, struggling to get on. She wants to be like all the other popular kids, but her band of ragtag friends aren't quite there. But she's lower than them even. You know, she's really struggling. They can't even afford, food, so they go to the food banks and all that kind of stuff. So all she really wants is to hang out with the popular kids, go to the same parties as them, wear nice clothes, all that kind of good stuff. And eventually after school, there's a party going on one of the popular kids' houses. She wants to go, manages to wangle herself an invite, but the girl says, "Don't forget to wear something nice, because it's a party." She doesn't have anything nice. Anyway, her friends, well, not friend, but that popular girl sends her a link to a new app called Red Rose. She downloads the app. It keeps asking a few questions. She ignores
Is it
them.
like Vinted?
Not quite.
Ah, okay.
And then basically says, look, write down 3 wishes on a mirror. So she writes down some like money, popularity, something else. Like saying Candyman 3 times in mirror, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, her wishes start coming true. But to be fair, they're not much cop.
It's the old monkey's paw thing, is it?
So basically,
Sounds like Killer Net.
yeah. So think about that. So
Yeah, think about that, Brett.
I often do.
keep in mind where this is going, because as I said when I come on to give my review,
What's this then?
I'm just giving you the lowdown at the moment. So basically,
Part 2.
she asks for wealth, and she gets like £100 on a lecky bill. It's like, all right.
Well, everyone does it, mate.
She wants something to wear, so she opens the back door one day, and there's a fancy dress and some Jimmy Choos trainers. Not very classy. And again, she starts becoming a bit more popular, where she's going on socials, all this kind of stuff. But in return, the app then starts asking her to do certain tasks. And she's
Oh, this is the booth.
the what?
I'll explain that in a minute. You
Okay.
carry on.
So anyway, the tasks get her in more and more in trouble. If she doesn't do them, then nasty things start to happen to her, and this carries on going. And that's where I'm going to stop, because otherwise it'll ruin it for you.
I don't think I'm going to watch it, but
It
Thank you.
feels very much like stuff that's been done so many times before. Like whether it's the not the genie. What was the other one? The other name. For,
Wishmaster.
yeah, and the other name for genie.
Jin.
Jinn. Yes, it's all that kind of
It's
stuff.
not the other name, it's the originating swear it.
Yeah, no. But the film, the Jinn, as well, as opposed to Disney's The Genie. No, Aladdin. What are you doing?
He shit himself.
Oh, okay.
I farted again.
But it's like done so many times, but to be fair to it, at least it's a bit different. And all of they're not child actors, the teenagers or early
Young
20s,
adults.
young adults. They'll do a sterling job. And it's nice to see some characters in like a teeny type thing that aren't, all airy fairy and getting everything they want. And it's not, even though they're down on their luck, there's still some comedy moments, and the banter between them was quite good as well. Haven't finished it yet, but I probably will. So that's probably an indication of levels. It's not.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
it does.
superb.
It kind of sounds like those. Yeah, like I said, monkey's paw and all that sort of stuff, which is be careful what you wish for
Yeah.
and blah blah blah.
So that's one of the new things I've been watching. The other isn't that new, but Saturday night, Mrs. was out for a meal, so I thought, okay, well, let's have a film with the kids, and we talked about the School of Good and Evil. Neve saw that on, I think it's on Netflix, and so I thought, okay, well, we'll sit and watch this. So Shelley's they're on, Lawrence Fishburne, Michelle Yeoh, they're all teachers in a magical school for kids. And some of the kids go to one bit of the school, the good kids and the heroes, when they grow up, go to the School of Good. And those that want to be villains and destined to be villains go to the School of Evil. There's a
Would it
girl.
not be more sense to just put them in that evil school and then euthanize them?
Yeah, but there needs to be balance in the word, Damien.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. And basically, one girl is desperate to go to the School of Good. She gets basically swept away by this thing. Her friend, who's kind of a local witch, herbalist type thing, for want of a better word, grabs onto her, tries to save her. They end up both getting carried away. Lo and behold, the one that wants to go to the good school gets dropped into the evil school and vice versa. And it's like, well, they're not supposed to be in these school, but are they really? Like the sorting hats decided, read their minds. It's not all that.
Yeah, it sounds shit.
Yeah. It got to a point where, because we had the lights off to make it like a cinema, half hour, I looked around and the kids have disappeared. They snuck out and they were in the other room.
Snucked out?
Sneaked.
They snuck out or they sneaked out?
They snucked.
Snucked.
They snucked off.
They had snuck out into the other room and they're watching Guardians of the Galaxy.
Fair enough.
So, who got the best viewing that night? They did. So avoid that one. Listeners, you two aren't going to watch it.
No.
I had no real desire to.
Okay, Brett, coming back to you.
Okay.
Two more.
Just chipping in on the end of what you were saying. That thing I was talking about, the booth at the end, was a series about 2010. Starred Xander Berkeley. There was only 2 seasons, 10 episodes, and they were like 23 minutes an episode. And the whole thing is him in like a big diner, and he sits in this booth at the end. And people
I know that. Yeah, I know that.
People would come in and go like, "Oh, I need this, or I want
Yeah.
that." And they say, "Okay, I'll grant you this, but you need to do this for me." And it would be some random task. And it all seemed a bit weird. And then basically, as it goes on, you realise all the different people that come and see him, everyone is doing something for everyone else, but you don't really. It might be bad stuff.
Well, that sounds like Needful Things.
But this is more bad for it. It might be killing someone. It
Actually,
might be,
that is kind of the same thing with
it
Needful
might be you need
Things.
to kill someone. It might be you need to find a homeless person, but then someone else and take them in. But someone else later on, he would have said, you just need to leave your home and become homeless and whatever. It was all, but it's a bit more sinister. There's
Cool.
a bit more kind of Faustian, were they making like a deal with the devil or not?
Yeah, very
Don't-
much like Needful Things.
I've never seen it, but
That was a Stephen King book.
yeah.
You need to read those. You can't just
Yeah, I
stare
do. I always read the first
No,
three quarters.
they
and-
made it was either a
We don't-
movie or a TV
we
series.
don't talk about that.
Yeah.
No, we don't. 'cause
I always
they
read the
haven't
first
even-
3/4 of Stephen King books and then just make
Yeah,
up my
because
own
before you
ending.
know it, you've
Yeah.
done 2 chapters on a doorknob and you realise nothing.
Well, no,
happened.
then it turns into like a giant spider and everyone was alright. And it's like, because...
Okay, come back to the room.
Back in the room.
Okay, I'm back now. Right.
So, what else you've been
Well,
watching this week?
The Legend channel in the UK, I'm sure you're familiar
The
with
home
it.
of Airwolf.
The home of Airwolf, and also now the home of Diagnosis Murder from the beginning
Is it?
at weekends. So I sat down the other day, I thought, I've got 45 minutes to an hour to spare. And
2 a.m.
And there's an episode on which, according to IMDb, is season 2, episode 13. And I don't remember this one from the original time of watching it.
Oh,
So
that
I
was a
like-
classic one.
No, but I think sometimes you didn't get them all because it was on BBC in the afternoon. Some of them might have been scary, or you
Or they
couldn't
just
put-
didn't necessarily show them all in order
no,
and just
or whatever. But I think some got cut out. But it was called La Bella Lugosi Blues. So I thought, oh, this sounds cool to
Good
watch.
name.
And basically, it's back in. This is when Scott Baio was still in it,
Yeah.
Yep.
and it's got Tim Dunnigan, who was the original face in the A Team and Captain Power, and there's like a female vampire thing.
Mhm.
And she's got the big house, and is she really a vampire? Dick Van Dyke thinks that she's someone who thinks she's a vampire. And then I thought she looks familiar, and I looked it up, and it is the woman from Fright Night 2 as well. So this wouldn't.
Well,
have
they were
been
good
that
at
far.
doing. They did a lot of things like that, didn't
Yeah. And then at the end, she actually genuinely was a real vampire, and they kill her.
they?
Brilliant.
Oh.
Wow.
It's like, in Diagnosis Murder. And then later
That's
on,
probably why it wasn't on.
there's
Yeah.
him and Scott Baio at the end going like, well, how did you get rid of her? Where's she gone? He goes, oh, you don't want to know, Steve. And, then, and they kind of laugh to each other, and it ends. And it's like,
Sweet.
she was a real vampire. And it
Yeah.
was like, because all the way through, you're expecting...
Maybe it was a Halloween special.
No, it was on... Actually, it was November the 3rd, so yeah, it could have been. But they went for the Bela Lugosi thing, and I think it was filmed in the house that was... Because they were quite
Yeah.
stunt casting, weren't they? They were good at that
They were
stuff.
very good at stunt casting.
But
Very.
yeah, no, it was just I was waiting for it to be, oh, she's selling blood on the black market or something. That's why she drains the... No, she was a vampire. And you actually see her, like, get staked and everything. So probably a Dick Van Dyke tick list there. I've never,
Yeah.
as an
Yeah.
actor, I've never killed a
I've never been a
vampire.
Van Helsing, but now
Yeah.
I have.
He still gets to do a little dance in it when there's like a ballroom bit. And
Was he roller skating at this point?
No, he wasn't roller skating.
That would be cool.
And the other thing that I watched Basically, it's two words that have changed the face of modern cinema. Cocaine Bear.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I saw your little post. What's it like?
You must see this film.
Is it good?
It's everything you dreamed of and more. Obviously based on a true story, although
Well, loosely.
Yeah,
based.
loosely.
in the real world, the bear did take the cocaine and was dead within a minute from a heart attack. Unlike the one in the film, who's obviously a lot tougher because he goes on a killing spree. There's a nice bit where he's laying doing like a snow angel in the dirt.
Then he goes looking for a couple of prostitutes and
It's not far from that.
great.
And yeah, no, it's brilliant. Everyone in it is amazing. O'Shea Jackson Jr. is like David, who's like the sort of hood guy who gets sent to find the cocaine by his boss Ray Liotta in his last ever film, full film role. Kerry Russell's in it. She's been in loads of stuff over the years. The big ginger dude from Game of Thrones is in it. But playing a completely different
Sheeran.
role. No, Christopher Hivju. He's one of the what they call the ones from the Wildling dude.
Yeah.
Big ginger dude. It's got a dude from My Family in it, whatever it's called. Not My Family. What's the American one? The gay couple. It's got Married with Children bloke in it. Al Bundy.
Don't know. Doesn't matter. It's not important.
It's a massive show. But
Modern Family.
Modern Family. Thank you, Paul. And yeah, it was it. But what I thought was really clever, and I'll need to watch it again, and it might be me reading into it, but I don't think it is. Elizabeth Banks can do satire very well. I'm impressed with her as a director.
Yeah.
And it's got the dude that played young Han Solo as well. He's in it.
Cool.
And but like, there's a bit where David and Eddie are off traveling. Eddie is young Han Solo and Ray Liotta's son. They've got to go and find the drugs because it's like the plane's gone down. We've lost all this money, and the Colombians are going to get me. You got to go and find it in the forest. And the truck they are driving is basically the Fall Guys truck.
Cool.
There's two kids that bunk school and run around the forest, and their mum is Kerry Russell, and she's like basically dressed in the pink jumpsuit of Amy Allen in the A-Team. But it's one of those, it's not overly done. If you spot things, you'll spot things. You know,
Yeah.
like, that's what I remember that jumpsuit. and I remember the Fall Guys truck. And there's probably other bits, because it's set in like the mid-80s, so it's sort of, yeah, there's some nice little, but it doesn't smash over your head going, look, we're making a reference. It's just there. And if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't.
So it's not like Duffer Brothers.
No, not like, this is done the right way and not too much of a, sledgehammer to the
Cool. So
skull.
out of 10 for that one then. That sounds like that's a high one.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's an early candidate for Film of the Year, in my opinion.
Cool.
Probably, you put me on the spot here. Probably a high 9.
Cool. Okay.
Because I think it's one of those, as you watch it more, or especially, a late night, if it's on about 11 o'clock and you've just got back from the pub, it'll be a hilarious evening.
Anything else?
No, I think that's me done.
Damien, did you have anything else?
Absolutely not.
That's right. So this week our spotlight is on the film Troll. So Troll's a 1986 American horror comedy along the lines of Gremlins, Critters. Trying to think of what else.
Ghoulies.
Yeah, Ghoulies. Yeah, that kind of horror comedy.
One of the Ghoulies is in this.
Is in the film, yeah.
It was directed by Jean Carl Buechler and produced by Empire Record.
Damn the man! Save the Empire!
Empire Pictures. It was made on a budget of around $1 million and took at least 5 times that in box office takings alone, let alone all the potential VHS rentals. I was going to say DVDs, but there probably weren't many DVD sales, apart from maybe one copy that Brett bought. And whilst there was a Troll 2 and subsequently a Troll 3, Troll 2 in 1990, that was actually a film produced under the name of Goblin, and it had no actual connection with the original and was likely rebranded in an attempt to cash in on the relative success of its predecessor.
On Troll 2, you do need to check out the documentary Best Worst Movie. The Troll 2, was it called Best Worst Movie? It's like Troll 2. And it's a documentary about that film and how all that came about and the cashing on the name and how everyone in it is just like, this was a pile of shit. I regret ever doing it. Like, the main guy's a dentist now, and they go back and interview him, and he's in his dentist surgery, and he watches it for the first time in years. And all that. Apart from when you meet the director, who was like, "It is my his Italian horror. I forgot his name. But he's like, it's my masterpiece. It was the best thing ever done." And they have all these festivals in America where Troll 2 is shown, and people go. It's a bit like Showgirls or something.
It's got a bit of a cult following.
Like, yeah, they go and watch it for the wrong reason, and they just rip the shit. And he's been invited to all these, and he go along, but he thinks he's made Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
He is totally disillusioned with the fact that they are mocking it and taking the mick out of it. He's like, you say this film is a joke. You say, well, look at all these fans. They come from miles to see this. And he's deadly. He's not tongue-in-cheek at all. Have you not seen that? Have a look. I think it was on Netflix for ages. It's called Best Worst Movie. There is a full version of it on YouTube, but I don't know the legalities of that.
Fair enough.
But it is on, it's $1.99 on Prime Video as well. But it's hilarious. Just to give you an idea of the background of the movie scene, like this independent filmmaking in the early 90s.
Cool.
That is much better than the actual Troll 2 film. But Troll is really good, though. Over to you, Paul.
Thanks, Brett.
Sorry.
Whilst a number of attempts to create a sequel worthy of the name have tried to be made over the years, they all vanished into the world of legends. So starring Noah Hathaway as our hero, Harry Potter Jr., not that Harry Potter, he came out well before
Yeah, the original
the
Harry
wizarding
Potter.
world of Harry Potter.
He's the OG HP.
Well, he's not, is he? Because Michael Moriarty's character is the original Harry
Okay,
Potter.
is he
Because he's
OG,
Harry Potter Jr.
HP?
I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah. Also in films like Neverending Story as well,
Yep.
continuing on from that success. The
Battlestar Galactica.
Mm-hmm.
the cult faction,
Everyone in this was in Battlestar Galactica.
cult faction favourite Michael Moriarty as Harry Potter Senior. Shelley Hack as Anne Potter. Jenny Beck plays Wendy Potter, Harry's sister. And
Randomly.
how can we miss out Sonny Bono? Yep, I've got you, babe, as Peter Dickinson. Okay,
Don't forget you had June and Anne Lockhart as well, the original
Yeah,
mum
but
from
that's
Thingy.
reference later on.
Okay, and Julie Louis-Dreyfus in a film that
Yep.
she probably would never want mentioned again.
No,
Cool.
she didn't. There was she was on the Jay Leto show, and he showed a clip of it, and she wasn't impressed. I was like,
Can't
I
see
saw
why.
that on YouTube the other day.
Everyone's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we spoke about this briefly last week, but memories.
Off the shelf video classic. To be fair, the poster always looked scarier than the film ever was, but I was still happy with it, mainly because it had the girl from V in it.
Yeah, yeah. Damien,
I know I'd seen it, but I had no recollection of it whatsoever. Some of the so rewatching it, some of the set pieces.
Yeah.
I do remember
Yeah.
that. But you know, last week if you'd have asked this very same question, I'd have gone no, don't remember it at all.
I don't know if it's watching it now, but I had a new appreciation for Michael Moriarty as Harry Potter Senior and his little quips and one-liners. That,
Yeah.
but still plays it straight. It's just like, honey, did you do drugs when we were pregnant? Or whatever it was, you know, just something like that. You know, and it's just sort of all this stuff's going on. He's kind of oblivious to it. Yeah, no, I found it a lot more entertaining.
yeah. So
But it was your choice, Paul. So you must have fond memories.
I watched it on repeat for about 6 months. It was
That explains a lot.
it was one of those things. Yeah, loved it. Loved it.
Is that why you used to have loads of plants in your room?
Yeah, that used to talk to me. Yeah, even to this day, before going back to rewatch it, remember the background music, all that kind of stuff. Remember the little scenes of in the fairy worlds and all that kind of stuff. The little elf dude peering. Yeah, remembered everything about it. Cool. So what we will do, we'll break down the story as we go through, not scene by scene. It's a bit more overview than that. And we'll take a break, chip in with any comments or pertinent views, memories as we go along. So Brett, starting with you.
Okay, then. So I feel we need to mention the opening credits because they're awesome, and we get the music by Richard Band, with the Band family being all over this. Charles Band himself of Full Moon Features is the producer and that of this. He has made so many films on so little money. If you get the chance, check out his book, Confessions of a Puppet Master. It's on Audible, it's on Amazon and all that. It's really good just to hear how someone had a career for so long and spent so little money on films. It's a really fun read. And how he got round things and how he filmed 3 or 4 things on the same set whilst paying for it once and letting the companies realise and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really good. So they're involved, and we get, as I say, the music by Richard Band. You get this sort of classic fairy tale moment. And I really like the opening because you get the storybook.
Yeah.
And it's a real kind of sets the Fantasyland vibe. You get the pictures of the storybook, which basically are telling us how we ended up in the situation we are in, but we don't know that yet. Later on, when you look back, you realise that it's almost like the prequel. It's leading us to what's happening now. And we see, like, the troll pictures and the dragon and some other stuff that kind of looks a little bit like what we see later on, but maybe they hadn't quite got the designs right yet, so it doesn't quite match up. But, yeah, so we get all that, and it's a really sort of nice sort of music. And then we get to meet the Potter family. We see Harry Sr. and Annie with their teenage son, Harry Jr., and young daughter, Wendy from V. And they are moving into a new apartment complex in San Francisco. Sorry, I just remembered a bit later on. And while unpacking, for some reason as well, we get lots of references to Harry Sr.'s record collection that make no things in the film later on. They make a big point about mentioning how many records he's got and why he had to bring them and all that, and it's never ever mentioned again. I don't think we even see a record.
Yeah, no, we do, because one of them's broken at one point. I can't remember. He doesn't even mention which one it is, but he pulls out a bit of broken record for no reason, and they just go, oh well.
It would have been nice if they used them as weapons,
Yeah,
like in Shaun of the Dead style.
Yeah. Anyway, they're unpacking, and little Wendy goes for a little wander around their new apartment building, and she's attacked by a grotesque little creature wielding a magic ring. Then we see the troll, it captures Wendy, and then it takes on her appearance, but we can tell it's the troll because he's got a big green ring on.
Yeah.
Bit of ring. He liked it, so he put a ring on it. And then we get introduced to the other eccentric tenants in the building.
Probably I was going to say including Sonny.
You've got sort of sex pest Sonny Bono, who actually in front of the children says that he's into swinging and that.
Yeah.
So like he doesn't want them cramping his style. You've got the sort of military army guy whose name I forget now with all his guns and stuff. You've got the loving young couple of Miss Dreyfus and her real-life partner at
husband.
the time. Are they still married now?
I don't know. They
did
got married a year
didn't
later.
they?
Yeah.
And then we hear tales of an English professor who lives like upstairs somewhere, and we meet the mum from Lost in Space as well, who's kind of an older sort of witchy-like lady. So there'll be a revelation there later. And so the family meet all them, and they sort of, Wendy's acting unusual and growling and wants her rat burger.
Yeah, she turns into the gatekeeper.
Yeah, which is what Sonny Bono was talking about as well. But then they attribute her behaviour to the stress of the move. And if she doesn't
stop acting,
if she doesn't stop acting more like herself, they're going to take her to the doctor. Because that's what you did to kids that misbehave. You took them to the doctor and you got them medicated.
They gave her a day, though. So if she didn't get back better by the next day.
So we get this nice kind of opening scene. We meet everyone in the block that they're living in. Everyone seems quite friendly. Sonny Bono just wants to keep getting it on and doesn't want the kids to cramp his style.
It's a typical setup to any play.
Yeah, it's like
introducing the character.
It's like a sitcom setup.
No, I was going to say, yeah.
A sitcom called The Block in San Francisco.
And also we get this mysterious English professor who lives upstairs who we don't see at that point.
Yeah.
It does a good well, sets the scene well. I mean, I think they rushed the takeover a little bit. It could have been a little bit of suspense with the troll swapping places with Wendy, but it's just like, what's in here? The troll.
Yeah.
It could have been, is she the same? Has she been taken over? And then we could see the ring or her eyes glow or something. But,
But no, straight in there, straight to the point.
But, it's probably filmed in sequence and on a budget and on a rush. So I can see why they've done that.
Yeah.
They probably didn't have permission to use that tower block. But yeah, no, I thought it was a great opening bit, really, from the music to the modern, and the fairy tale imagery to the modern day. We're in the plot and we're running.
Okay, so we'll move on. Tarok, a.k.a. Wendy, then starts working her way from apartment to apartment, transforming the tenants into fairy tale creatures such as goblins, nymphs, and elves. And their apartments into lush forests with the help of his magical ring. Harry goes looking for his sister and meets Eunice Sinclair, who he tells all about how strange his sister is acting. Eunice gives him a pep talk and says her door is always open. She also has a strange mushroom-looking creature living with her, so we know she's a little bit unusual.
Now, that creature looked like, I'm sure that was in Labyrinth.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. It looked like one of the little...
the same, didn't it?
Yeah.
But it's probably nicked.
Yeah,
Well, to be fair, the troll, Tarok, doesn't look too dissimilar from the...
It's almost something out of Jim Henson's workshop, just maybe a little bit cheaper.
It wouldn't surprise me if they walked past and just grabbed a load of stuff, filmed it, and then took it back.
Well, no, well, this was filmed in Italy, and and Labyrinth was mainly filmed in Pinewood or
Yeah.
Elm Street. Elm Street.
Yeah, I mean,
Elm Street. That would be brilliant.
Labyrinth in Elm Street.
But it wouldn't. Yeah, but I'm saying like they might have gone on a little holiday and got sent back again for a couple of days.
Yeah.
But it's that's the sort of thing. Because I said there was a ghoulie in there. There's a poster on the boys' wall actually, because all the posters are Charles Band movies, and it was, what was it? Was it the Dream Master? No, the Dungeon Master.
Yeah.
And the poster of that, the creature from that on the poster is one of the other ones that's there. So it's, we like to reuse things.
Yeah.
Ahead of his time, saving money.
Yeah, so Harry Potter Jr.'s had his little initial meeting with Eunice, and Wendy all the while is scoping out the neighbourhood. So she bumps into Malcolm Mallory, played by Phil Fondacaro. He was in films like Willow, and also he was a Ewok in Return of the Jedi, to give you some
He's a
description.
Hollywood go-to little person, isn't he?
I didn't want to say that, but okay.
You can say little person, can't
Yeah,
you?
you can.
Yeah, but I deliberately put it by, and she asked him if he's an elf, and it seems to take a shine to him, which means he's going to survive a little longer. Harry continues to notice Wendy being odd, and decides to stay out of her way, as opposed to maybe confronting her with mum and dad and saying she's not right.
Yeah.
And it's quite nice seeing the little sister bullying the big brother for once.
Yeah. So he stays out of her way, leaving Wendy to continue paying visits on the neighbours. So the next up person she sees is he calls himself Uncle Duke, as he refers to himself, who's been around the world a dozen of times and stared death in the face.
Okay, thinks he's John Wayne, doesn't he? That's where the Duke bit came from.
Yeah. So basically, Wendy also says that she knows what death looks like, with the outcome again being the appearance of the little ring. When he asks her exactly what does death look like, she shows him. So I thought I'd get some laughs into this by continually mentioning that.
You can't mention a little girl getting a little ring out.
But it is a little ring on her finger.
Oh dear. But this bit I found a bit weird. They've been there a day and she's just wandering around people's flats.
Well, they
letting
both
us have
are.
in.
I mean, he just strolls into this old lady's apartment and...
Well, that was kind of you get the thing that was like by fate, or like she expects him.
Well, she does, you're right, but still the point stands.
Oh, yeah. No,
He's just wandering around.
Good job none of them had like a big Rottweiler. Could have been a bit of a shorter film.
Probably no pets allowed in the apartment. I don't know.
Good point.
Yeah.
Well, she's got that little mushroom.
Yeah, but no one knows about the
she
little
keeps
mushroom.
hiding it, yeah.
Puts a
And
lampshade on his head.
She's already been to see Sonny Bono at this point, hasn't she?
Yeah.
As well. So, yeah, we know.
Yeah, he's the first to go, isn't he? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Because they only had him for a day.
yeah, was he hard up for money at some point?
I don't know, because
'Cause
wasn't
he-
he in politics by this
Yeah,
point?
he was mayor of Palm Springs at one point.
I don't know what I don't know much about him, but I know that
Maybe
he was in
someone
politics.
had to call in a favour.
Yeah.
I'm taking that from Beavis and Butthead. It was probably somewhere else or San Diego. So, no, but he was definitely a mayor or somewhere. At some
He was,
point.
yeah, he was, governor or something
but then
like that.
Maybe they're probably mates because I think Charles Band was on that scene as well of rock and roll.
Well, yeah, I
parties
mean, there was the Sonny and Cher show went on for donkey's years, didn't it? So probably, a lot of friends in the business that he probably owed favours to, I'd imagine.
And
Do my movie and I'll keep quiet about this.
He's probably just out. It gets his profile out, doesn't it? He's like, one day there's going to be this thing that lists everything I've been in, and I need more stuff. But he's getting poor old Uncle Duke though. The gun didn't work. He tries to shoot him with the shotgun. But what was interesting in that, and they never went back to it, was even the troll looked shocked that it didn't work.
That's true, yeah.
And then bent it in half, and I thought, oh, maybe there's something there. But then they never ever went. It's kind of like, oh, cool. You know,
I can't be shocked. Brilliant.
So there goes Uncle Duke and Sonny Bono. And then Wendy decides to attack her brother again, Harry Potter Jr., makes him unconscious and manages to convince his parents that he's fallen down, he's outside. Harry continues to keep up the pretense on not calling out his sister and shrugs it off because he's scared of her, really.
Yeah.
But he knows something's not right. But it's that dramatic irony. We know and he knows, but he can't tell anyone else.
She's like a pod person from the planet Mars.
Yeah. That was Charles Band. The first one is Charles Band and his wife, and the second one is, I think it's Arthur Band, the brother and his wife. On that, the one with your dog is a
black,
poet.
Yeah,
that was their cameos.
All right, cool.
It's like but I was want to watch that film now. But a little film there. But so he's worried about it, but he's shrugging it off, and he just asks his parents to keep Wendy away from him. And then, in a bit that I missed, somehow Malcolm got invited for dinner.
Yeah, they don't show that. So she's out. She runs out into the road or something, doesn't she? I think, and with no real drama at all, and there's no other way of saying it. Malcolm puts out his little hand and just pulls her out the road, but it's just like it's not like he went running across the street.
Are you and Alf and all that stuff and all that stuff? But it's like, and she's like, oh, her little friend's coming for dinner, and they got some chocolate milk ready, and he turned out with like champagne or whatever it is. And no one questions why he's going for dinner with her.
Why is this person?
What's your interest in our 7-year-old daughter?
Yeah.
You 30-year-old little person, 40-year-old little person. But anyway, he arrives for dinner at Wendy's invitation, and again, she's neglected to tell her parents about the fact that his true age.
An adult.
Yeah. They have dinner, and Malcolm lets her know Wendy asks him to recite a poem, The Fairy Queen, and everyone gets romantically there's like a romantic moment between Mr. and Mrs. Potter as he's reading the poem out.
They will go a bit doe-eyed.
And then elsewhere, all the little goblins and creatures are sort of bursting into song.
Yeah, this is the bit where we get the musical number, isn't it?
And
so it's like a weird scene from Hair.
Yeah, and June Lockhart's blowing a trumpet, and it hurts everyone's ears. So it's it's Danger, Will Robinson. It's probably the most surreal moment.
Yeah,
because it's almost like a Shakespearean poem being read over Fraggle Rock sing along. Over.
Well, has anyone looked?
June
Is the
Lockhart
Fairy Queen an actual real poem of some sort? I don't know. I didn't bother
I
looking.
would doubt.
I bet there are poems
I would
called
doubt
The
it.
Fairy Queen.
And if they did, they probably didn't pay for the rights to it.
Well, there's if it's in law, it's not. If it's a
few hundred years old,
for 100 years, all of that stuff expires after a year, doesn't it? Hence, we got the Winnie the Pooh slasher film recently. Disney have still got their version, but the A.A. Milne one is out in the public domain. Anyway, should we carry on?
Yep.
So Harry Jr. seeks solace in the company of Eunice St. Clair, who reveals herself to be a friendly neighbourhood witch, as you do. And whilst Harry and Eunice are having a small talk, Wendy is turning her attention on Jeanette, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And after giving her some flowers and telling her how beautiful she is, she gives her a prick with her ring and transforms her apartment into an elven forest. And then she just decides to start running around
Yeah.
semi-naked.
Like a nymph.
Like a nymph, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get to see a little bit of the pervy troll again
Yeah.
and his ring. Cool.
It's all very random. You know, there's no kind of... just suddenly she's running around giggling.
Yeah.
It's like the ADHD troll, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so back with Harry and Eunice. He basically asked if she could teach him to be a magician one day, but unfortunately she doesn't think she'll have the time. Aww. It's like she knows what might be coming.
Yeah, foreshadowing.
So she basically works out from when Wendy started acting weird that the transformation occurred on like a special witch's night. And she tells Harry to keep an eye on his sister. And it seems like that they basically got 72 hours for the transformations to take effect. Otherwise, it can't be reversed and all hell breaks loose.
And he literally takes it literally.
Yeah.
It just doesn't take his eyes off her
No.
for the next 10 minutes of the film.
So whilst this is going on, Wendy takes down her next victim in like this weird slasher film, who's Jeanette's boyfriend. Then she goes off to see her new bestie, Malcolm, and she notices Malcolm doesn't look too good. And he explained how he's sick and getting sicker every day,
This is
according
like
to the
a
X-rays.
complete change of tone to everything that came before. We get this suddenly serious look through the eyes of what he might seriously be going through in Israel. Like, it's just totally out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It turns into
And
like,
he's unloading to this poor little girl.
who's 7.
Yeah. And he says how his body's all worn out. She says he can't die because he's too special. And did he ever want to be a elf, rather? And luckily enough...
What's a wealth?
It's a wealthy elf. And lucky enough, he actually did always want to be a wealth. Jesus. He always
talent.
he always did want to be an elf. And it goes on about how he used to fantasize with the land, being in the lands of dragons and all that kind
Being
of stuff.
saved by magic on it and all that.
Yeah, and lucky enough, Wendy has a magic ring, and behold, tiny elf Malcolm is born.
Yeah, that was weird.
Not quite what he was hoping for, I'd imagine.
Wow. I guess the thing about that, you've got what's set up to be this evil Torok, this destroyer of worlds, and he's taken a shine to poor little Malcolm, and he wants the best for him.
It shows us he's not inherently evil.
Yeah. I don't say my heartstrings were being tugged when I was a kid, but you can see the best in anyone.
Fair enough.
Was this the bit as well where Eunice goes and sees Harry Potter Senior and says, like, what was the date of Hiroshima? And I don't know.
Yeah.
It might have been important. Well, that was the 6th of August, 1945. I don't know why it was important, though.
I don't think it is. It's just another random bit of the of the script, because it's like he says, it's okay, it's Saturday. She says, well, what day did they drop the Hiroshima? I can't say it now. What day did they drop the bomb? I don't know. And then that's when he goes, there's the encyclopedia still around. Now you'd be straight on the internet.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is now we don't mention that. It's just I've got Enola Gay in my head. Thanks for that.
That's all right. Thanks.
But
That's probably that'll be the closing music for this episode. Because I've been struggling to think of something.
But yeah, definitely.
I think the point is that just because it's Saturday doesn't mean something can't happen on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I think that's the point of that.
Everything happened on Saturday, but not after 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Nothing
But
happened.
I like that. But like you say, though, we get a glimpse that maybe Torok or Wendy, the troll, isn't necessarily evil.
He just wants his nice world to be recreated.
It's like, welcome, brother elf.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And obviously he's playing both roles as well. But we're not. It's like, who else is in that suit? Okay, so next day, Harry and Eunice meet up, and she tells him how long ago she and the powerful wizard named Torok, who's the director in a cameo at that point, were in love. At that time, the world was divided between fairies and humans. The realms were equal and independent of each other. However, Torok and some of the fairies challenged this balance, resulting in a great war in which the humans prevailed. Torok was mutated into a troll as punishment. He's now going from apartment to apartment, transforming sections of the building into his world. And when he succeeds, a single fairy universe will be created. She gives Harry Potter Jr. her magic spear, capable of killing the largest and most vicious creature in the world, and the two take off like Riggs and Myrtle.
Except neither of them. Well, actually, I suppose she could be too old for this shit.
But don't we get a...
Although weirdly enough, she gets younger.
Yeah.
Is this the quick... Yeah, this is the quick chain, isn't it, where June Lockhart becomes her daughter, Anne Lockhart.
Yeah.
Which is really funny, because I was like, as this was happening, I was like, her daughter was famous as well. I'm like, oh, cool. So we ended up with Boxy... Oh, what was it? I've forgotten the name. Battlestar Galactica. Cassiopeia? No, Cassiopeia was a blonde one. But anyway, it's a Battlestar Galactica reunion.
Well, yeah. And he's taken on his role again from...
Never ending story.
Exactly. To save the day. Even though he's been a bit of a wuss so far up to this point.
He's just been beaten up by Samuel Gow all over it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's all about to come down. We've got our supernatural smackdown coming.
Eunice is attacked by Torok and mutated into a tree stump.
Oh, what?
Happens.
And Harry finds his sister trapped in a coffin of glass. Harry Jr. saves Wendy but loses the magic spear when Torok's great bat-like monster attacks, which looks quite a lot like any. If you go down the Mothman wormhole and start researching that, you'll see that looks very much like a lot of depictions of Mothman.
Yeah,
Troll is based on a real story.
There you go.
Yeah. And but wasn't he waiting for a dragon?
Yeah, he was expecting a dragon, but we got some sort of weird
Obviously,
Mothman
we
creature.
couldn't acquire a dragon
Yeah.
from somewhere, so we got this instead.
Well,
Yeah.
just like the storyboard that started the film,
Yeah.
the visual effects couldn't necessarily keep up with the budget
Yeah.
that they had.
And also, that's a bit different to the story we get later on that they may have written after they did all the artwork.
Okay.
But,
So
sorry, carry
before
on.
the monster can kill Harry Jr. and Wendy, Torok kills it himself to spare Wendy, destroying his carefully constructed fairy realm. As the magic world collapses around them, Harry Jr. and his family are given a chance to escape, leaving just as the police arrive. Eunice is restored to normal as well as she bids Harry farewell and departs. As the police investigate the house, one of them is drawn into the remaining fragment of the alternate fairy world. Torok's arm rises into view, preparing to use his ring one last time.
Mm. So he could be a Green Lantern.
Yeah. Well, yeah, some version of it, maybe in some multiverse.
Ooh, that's what you did.
So it does wrap up pretty quickly, doesn't it?
It's a lot of, well, it's not a long film.
No.
It's under an hour and a half, which goes against what I'd normally go for. They do a lot of, well, they do a setup. I mean, it's storyboarded. You know, they got the start, the middle, the end. Most of it's, as you say, geared towards the end. But there's the preamble along the way where she just gets rid of all of the residents of the apartment block. And I almost said Willow. Noah, Harry Potter Jr. doesn't really do much, but he has his hero moment where he gets his spear in his hand
Yeah.
and he takes on the troll with a ring.
I mean, as far as stories go, it's concise. It's got the beginning, the middle, and the end. Like you say, all the bits compared to a lot of other films we watch. Does the film match up to the written story at times? Not as much as they probably wanted it
No.
to. But again, on the fact that it was filmed quite quickly on a budget.
It was about $1 million, you know, so not a huge amount. And, you know, with
I'd
a
imagine quite a lot of that went into the
special
creature
visual
feature.
effects, yeah.
I mean, a lot of that went into the Lockharts and Sonny Bono.
No, I told you, I reckon he just did it as a favour because he wanted to keep something a secret.
Yeah, probably did.
Go on then. What do we think, Brett?
No, I really enjoyed it. It's a good film. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's, you know, it's no Cocaine Bear, but it's enjoyable to put on. I mean, this is something, and I say this a lot of the time, but You could take this now and turn this into a series and make it a bit darker, I think.
Yeah, but as I said at the start, there's been numerous attempts over the years. It's just, and I think the actual original directors died since, or producer died since.
And I like the idea of like each apartment was like a different realm, and you could almost
So there's your series, isn't it?
yeah.
Each episode is
Like
the
realm,
creation
and then
of a new realm.
series,
Yeah.
you could be exploring the realms once they've been made, and it becomes there's your doorways to
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harry Potter Senior and Anne are both dead. The kids are trying to, or rather, Noah's trying to save the day.
Yeah.
The troll's
years
still
in
running
the
around.
future, they
Yeah.
they go back to the apartment
Well,
block.
he's the old man living upstairs now,
Oh, yeah.
not aging because he's taken over. Although Anne Lockhart did come back at the end with
Yeah.
some tight white jeans and a t-shirt on. It's like, where did that come from? But you can have something like that. Be interesting to see if J.K. Rowling would sue them.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why they've struggled since, because of the name and the use of names.
Well,
since.
they were first.
I know. This is why there's. I was going to say this is why there's been uproar. I doubt there is.
Well, no,
uproar,
he considered suing her. But I'm not being funny. It's just a name. It would be absolutely impossible for him to prove that she'd seen the film.
Yeah, it would be different as well if he actually became a magician. But
Yeah.
but he didn't.
No.
He just wanted to be, just like the boy under the stairs.
Yeah. I think I'd just go on the side that it's a coincidence.
Yeah.
Just
Oh yeah, no, it's totally It was because I think Potter was like her mate's name, wasn't it, or something?
Something like that, yeah.
and-
I think she liked the name Harry, and Potter was the surname of a
Like one of her
long-standing friend.
So, so it's it is what it is. That, but I mean, yes, even if they did it, they could call him Harry Peter or something. It ain't gonna.
They
make
wouldn't. I
much
don't think they'd have
difference.
to. If it's from this original source, then you can't. Not,
Even just for confusion, so just they could easily just change.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
the name has nothing to do with the film. To be fair,
But no, I think it's got that potential if someone can get hold of it, or Charles Band wants to have another stab at it because he's still knocking stuff out even now. But yeah, I mean it's all there. It just I don't know what they wanted. Did they want Gremlins? Did they want Gremlins 2? Did they want Critters?
from what I've read, originally he wanted straight horror. The studio wanted PG-13.
Okay.
So this is what we ended up with.
That's where the confusion is.
Yeah.
And then right in the middle of it, you get this deep, like, heartfelt moment with the little person giving his life story out and his illnesses and how he's felt and
how he
grew
felt
up.
as a child and
Yeah,
I felt
yeah.
like one of them, like,
Claire Raynor.
Davina McCall was going to reunite him with someone or something. It was just sort of, I don't know. Yeah, it was tonally challenged.
yeah.
Is that? Can I say that? That's.
I guess so.
But I
Just
still
did,
liked
just
it.
Yeah.
Cool. Damien.
I enjoyed it, I guess. Thinking back, but I was a bit bored when I was watching it, to be perfectly honest. And then it relied too heavily on characters, or rather one character explaining to us what was going on, rather than fleshing it out with using the script or another way. It was,
and I want
you
to
know-
say, well, give it the credit of the doubt. Maybe that is because of budget.
yeah, well,
Maybe.
for whatever reason, but yeah, we were relying too much on
June Lockhart.
June Lockhart to tell us the motivation of Torok and all that sort of stuff. Where, I guess if they had a bigger budget, they could have just done a flashback.
Yeah.
Which would have made it a more satisfying, because you really had to listen to what she was saying. And by the point of that, where it comes in the film, I'm bored.
Or even start it off with the as Brett was saying, almost like
Like an epilogue.
sequel.
Prologue? Which way round is it?
Sequel? No, I don't mean sequel. Prequel.
Prequel.
Well, they could have even done that with an animated one or something, couldn't they? Just because they had all the artwork there. We couldn't
Yeah.
have done that much more money just to animate it.
Yeah.
Some film directors laughing at me for saying that.
Yeah.
But Yeah, no, it was good.
That's how I enjoyed it. I thought, having Jenny Beck as Wendy, rewatching it really helped set her character up. The little girl from Poltergeist feel to it. I know she was in V, but it's that little girl
Yeah.
from
Yeah, I know what you
Poltergeist
mean.
vibe.
Yeah, for the first 5 minutes, I kept saying "Carrie Ann" to
Yeah.
myself. For
I think Harry Potter Jr. was a bit of a wuss, but hey, I think it still stands up. I'll forgive it. It's aging over time. And I got lost for about an hour and 27 minutes into the
I think
magical world of fairy tales. Ye Olde Fairy with Fae.
the original proper spelling. Yeah.
Mm.
I'd say, I can't remember now if you said this when we were recording or not, but old Moriarty's performance is top notch.
Yeah.
I mean, the dancing sequence, which has got no relevance to the film whatsoever.
Or music to it. 'Cause that's what I thought the record player was going to come in.
Yeah.
But there's no music there, so either we couldn't afford to
No,
clear the rights.
he was singing. They were
No,
playing.
he was singing something, but there wasn't really
Yes, it
any.
was. It was not "Ain't No Cure for the Sum." Yeah, "Ain't No Cure for the Summertime Blues," wasn't it?
Eddie Cochran.
No, but it's not. It's a almost like a punk version of it.
That's Sid Vicious. Then
I
he
don't
did
know
that.
who's. I don't know.
No,
I'm just saying
but
it's like a punk version.
It might not
What,
have been
what
the
did
original
you watch it on?
Sid Vicious.
On Amazon or
What?
MGM.
Mine didn't have any music.
I don't know what's going on there then. But
No, I
it
just
was
wondered if it was a
Summertime
rights
Blues.
thing that they couldn't clear anymore. Because it's like when you watch an old TV show and suddenly they're all at a disco, but there's no music because
Yeah, you don't get that. You don't really get that in films though.
or music.
You
Yeah,
get it in TV shows because you can't do repetition.
Oh, you do in film because there's that whole bit, and there's a bit in the '90s in America where all the John Hughes films had no music because they didn't do it. Then they played it again, and then they were all back
All right, okay.
in the TV version. So it was still on like if you bought the DVD
That's what I mean,
or the
yeah,
video,
yeah.
but on the TV version there was
Yeah.
no songs. So at the end of Breakfast Club, he's just walking across the field, punching the air. There's no music. It's weird.
There's definitely music in this, and it was "Ain't No Cure for the Summertime
What's a
Blues."
bit- I
But
didn't hear
I
music.
don't. It was a punk well, not necessarily a punk version, but
Yeah, come on, everybody. Yeah, and all that sort of. Yeah, no, that's cool. But yeah, that was the bit I was waiting for. I thought, oh, you ain't even got a record on now. And then he went, I'm just doing my exercises. I thought, oh, maybe that's why there's no music on or whatever.
no, there was definitely music.
Cool. Okay, let's leave that.
No,
Oh,
that's
no,
cool.
but I
I'm
just
ag-
wanted
No,
to
I
make
know,
my
I know.
point.
I just,
I'm
know,
agreeing.
how-
I'm like,
how-
cool. I didn't hear it.
okay, cool. So, out of 10, Summers for Troll.
Ooh, I think it's an enjoyable film, but it's one of those ones. I think it's a 1 in 5 year watch. It's not something I could put. There are certain films you could just put on in the background and laugh along and watch. For me, I think it's one of those. I think once in 5 years is probably funny enough. Otherwise, it might wear a bit thin. So I'm going to go for a 6.
Okay. Mr. Hicks?
I'm going for a 5. So it has that look and feel of your Labyrinths and your Gremlins and your Ghoulies and all that, but there's not enough. It's not quotable enough. It's not, the set pieces aren't there like you get in those films, and it's not any of the comedy that's in there isn't at the same standard, if you like. So I'm going for a 5. It's straight down the middle. It isn't terrible, but
That's fine.
doesn't tip the
Safe,
balance.
safe space.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 6. Still thoroughly enjoyed it. However, I think if they'd have gone complete fantasy kids film, it could have been, as
Exactly,
you say,
that's what I'm getting at.
completely brilliant. If it was horror, again, it could have been completely brilliant. But yeah, it got lost away by that juxtaposition.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think solid 6 though.
Agreed.
So we'll tally those scores up and put it on our leaderboard.
I need to do that. I will do that, I promise. I was going to do it this afternoon, but I felt a bit sick, so I had to have a little bit of a sit down instead.
Cool. Okay, so before we wrap up, obviously, Spotlight, each one of us picks a film for us to watch and review. Well, not review, put the spotlight
Well, it
on
was
the
film or
following week.
TV. It was film or TV, but we never.
We haven't done a TV yet, have we?
No.
Mm.
So whose turn is it to pick? So it's Mr. Summers' turn tonight to pick what we're watching. If you want to play along, kids.
It is. I'm changing the game. I am going for the TV show.
Oh,
It is available on Amazon Prime. I am looking now, and it is just on normal, and not anything that you appear to need to subscribe to extra. And I am going for the pilot episode of Doom Patrol.
oh, for fuck's sake!
It's an 18. It's rude. Yeah, so it's on Amazon Prime. It is available on the normal subscription, and we'll be watching the pilot episode, which you'll see is called Number One Pilot.
Okay, because just exactly what I was about to ask you. Then is it obvious? Cause...
Yeah, and it was originally broadcast 2nd of January 2020, so it's quite a modern one for us.
Mm.
And it's 59 minutes, but it is an 18.
Is it a cartoon?
No. So
God
it
for
might be, and this is what Brendan Fraser's really been doing. You forget that other film he's in. This is his best work. And it's got Resident Alien Man in it.
Alan
Alan
Tudyk.
It's all our favourites. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm not going to veto that.
No, I'm not going to veto it. Oh, I shall watch it.
And obviously,
It's
you know,
only 50 minutes or whatever. So.
if you do watch it and you wanted to watch some more, they're there.
I
for free
find it
on Amazon
unlikely,
Prime.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just as a throw in on that, I think season 5 Doom Patrol starts soon, and it will be the final series because they're ending it. So they've got a season to end it, or their version of it. So if you are watching it at home or you've watched it before, bit of news for you: season 5 will be the final series, but it is getting an ending. So if you do get caught up and think, I'm not watching this if it's going to get cancelled, you don't have to worry.
I don't think that's what Damien's thinking.
Oh, he is. I can see it in his face. Look at it.
Okay, so this has been episode 88 of the Cult Faction podcast with the spotlight on Troll.
Oh.
Don't forget to rate and review us on all of the streaming platforms, particularly Brett.
Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, and any podcast apps you use.
Listen
really.
to us all on all of those.
Rate,
and
review us,
us all on all
Recommend
of those.
us.
Don't forget
Share
also
us.
to check us out on TikTok, all the other stuff.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and some others.
We're completely all over the metaverse. And for all of the other content that we have, the reviews, the news,
Heroes of Cult, profiles, the lot.
that can be on our mothership, Damien, which is...
Cultfaction.com.
Come.
You can obviously leave us comments on all of those different sites, but if you have something maybe over 200 characters that you want to write to us, don't forget you can email us at...
Cultfactionpodcast@mail.com.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So I have been Paul Hawkins. Thanks for listening. Oh, just hit the microphone. And I've been joined by...
I think I'm Brett Summers, but I've got a green ring on.
I'm going to get my spear out.
Hurrah!
You've waffled on for the last 5 minutes, going completely off script. And Jesus, you
Yeah,
can't,
but that was
you can't ad-lib this bit.
Well, I will now. I was just trying to work out if I'd read it wrong. But no, there's something there.
Can't hear you because you're not talking to the microphone. And he's going zimming in a minute. He's making lots of noise.
Bowie, Grana, Weep, Nitty Bong.
Bowie, Grana, Weep, Nitty Bomb.
Bowie, Grana, Weep, Nitty Bong.
Bowie, Grana, Weep, Nitty Bomb.
You check in, but you don't check out.
Operators are standing by. I love that
We're
film.
so cool. Oh, you smelly bastard. What have you eaten?
It's cottage pie today.
He's worse when he doesn't have anything spicy.
Whose cottage?
Yeah.
Fred West's. Oh, you rotty ass bastard. I'm still lingering.
I was going to eat some onion bhajis just to, really mix it
God.
up a bit, but
You
I guess
evil
I didn't need
man.
to.
You did not.